palace has just issued this statement.
Have you heard the rumor about Queen Camilla's unexpected recording? You won't believe what happened when the camera kept rolling, and a leading figure in the palace made a move that took everyone by surprise. The royal household tried to keep it under wraps, but word got out, and now the country is buzzing with questions. Strap in for a wild ride as we uncover every twist and turn behind this hidden clip that rocked the monarchy to its core. The strange beginnings. It all started on a quiet afternoon in one of the lesser-known wings of Buckingham Palace. Queen Camilla was there for a routine discussion with staff members about upcoming charity events and ceremonial gatherings. Everyone assumed it would be a typical session, polite chatter, schedules laid out on the table, and her usual gentle reminder about finishing tasks on time. Yet, something felt different that day, according to one of the staff who later shared anonymous hints with the press. Queen Camilla was apparently in high spirits, talking excitedly about her latest reading project and upcoming public appearances. While most staffers took notes with full concentration, one person in the room had a phone left on the table, possibly by accident. This phone was still recording, though no one realized it. In the bustle of palace life, phones and devices are usually stowed away to keep sensitive conversations private. But on that particular day, either by mishap or intention, this simple rule was forgotten. At first, the conversation seemed harmless. They discussed the details of a charity fundraiser and formal invitations. Camilla spoke about wanting to highlight local artisans in an upcoming event. People chimed in with ideas for how they could incorporate community projects. Nobody suspected that a recording was underway. Then, according to the staffer's account, the Queen Consort began mentioning a certain personal matter regarding King Charles's health and the family's growing concern about his busy schedule. She seemed more open than usual, possibly assuming she was in a comfortable, secure space. Perhaps the most peculiar part was the presence of a person who quietly observed from the back. Some believed it may have been a new assistant or a discreet figure from an outside agency that handles press relations. They didn't speak, but they seemed focused, like they were waiting for the right moment. Later, many wondered if that silent individual had known that the phone was recording. Rumors spread that this visitor had something to gain from a leaked conversation. The moment she didn't see coming hours later, as people in the palace wound down for the evening, a ripple of whispers spread through the corridors. The gist was, something huge just happened, and the Queen Consort has no idea. You can imagine the hush that fell as staff members started hearing that a secret recording might exist. A few insisted it was just gossip. But in royal circles, baseless chatter can still cause panic, because even the slightest rumor can capture headlines worldwide. From what sources say, the mystery phone's owner quietly slipped away to a private area, then replayed the recorded audio. By chance or by plan, they discovered they had much more than a casual background noise on tape. One snippet allegedly included remarks about King Charles feeling pressured by health concerns, plus mentions of private family matters regarding future events. Had it stopped there, it might not have been so earth-shattering, but the recording apparently continued, capturing Camilla hinting at deeper tension behind the scenes. Some claim she mentioned how certain family members felt overlooked in the chaos of royal duties, or how unconfirmed details about Charles's well-being were putting stress on daily life. While none of these subjects were shocking in themselves, hearing them firsthand from a senior royal made them extraordinarily powerful, and the staff member with the phone realized they had a goldmine. According to rumors, this individual wrestled with whether to keep the recording hidden or to share it with someone influential, like a palace insider or even a media contact. Some stories say they hesitated. Others say they knew exactly what they wanted to do. Either way, that evening marked a pivotal moment. The staffer began editing a few specific parts of the audio to highlight certain remarks out of context, perhaps to spark more buzz or to gain leverage. This begs the question, why go to all that trouble? People around the palace started sensing that something was off. The staffer showed unusual confidence, hinting vaguely at having sound evidence of a crucial matter. Small talk in break rooms turned into mild alarm. Did they plan to blackmail someone, or was it just to stir up palace drama? And where was Queen Camilla while all of this was happening? At that exact time, Camila was apparently resting in her private quarters, unaware of the brewing storm. She had left the meeting earlier with no sign that anything out of the ordinary had taken place. Behind the palace doors, panic and damage control. The next morning, the situation escalated. An unnamed official at Buckingham Palace heard chatter that a staff member was shopping around an audio clip. Allegedly, they had reached out to a freelance journalist known for breaking high-profile stories. People described the official as white-faced with alarm as they rushed to convene an urgent meeting with palace advisors. In a kingdom where image and trust are paramount, anything that even hints at a secret leak can be catastrophic. Damage control began immediately. First, an internal inquiry was launched to find out who might have made the recording and what exactly was on it. Tensions flared among staff because no one wanted to be implicated in a scandal. Each palace team member was quietly asked if they had noticed anything unusual during or after Camila's meeting. But as you might expect, not everyone was eager to talk. Meanwhile, a separate set of trusted advisors was tasked with one vital role: keep Queen Camila calm. She had to be informed, but only with the facts needed to manage any potential fallout. Sharing too much too soon might cause panic, and the monarchy rarely acts in haste. If the recording contained remarks about King Charles's health concerns, even small details could spark giant headlines. The palace wanted to avoid that at all costs. When the truth emerged. Meanwhile, everyone was wondering, who was the person in the whole saga, the person behind the crucial move? According to many sources, he was the staffer who had discovered the recording on his phone. Though some initially thought an outsider might be involved, it seems more likely it was an internal figure, possibly with deeper connections or a personal agenda. Because at the height of the tension, he apparently took the bold step of sending an edited clip to key figures outside the palace's control. That was the move that triggered the heartbreaking scramble in the corridors of power. He didn't quietly hand over the clip to palace officials in exchange for a favor or hush money. Instead, he made sure at least a snippet of the recording reached people eager for any secret about the monarchy. Journalists who love an exclusive story, or perhaps an organization with political aims against the royals. The moment came when it became clear that the staffer had not only circulated the clip, but had also placed a cryptic note threatening to release extended audio if the palace tried to silence him. This was more than a personal grievance. It felt like a strategic chess move, a threat that demanded leverage over the palace. Sources claim the staffer's demands included both money and a promise of a certain position in a different royal office, essentially blackmail with a side deal for better employment. Once the existence of that note came to light, the palace's mood shifted from panic to pure outrage. Senior aides, guided by legal counsel, studied their options. A lawsuit for breach of confidentiality was on the table, but that carried its own risks. Any public legal action might draw even more attention. Camila's reaction and the aftermath. When Queen Camila finally learned exactly how those private words could become front-page news, her immediate feeling was said to be deep disappointment. She was not enraged, nor did she have a dramatic outburst, at least not in front of others. Sources say she latched onto a calm approach, trusting her advisors to handle the official response. But behind this composed exterior, there was a private sense of pain. She had spent years building up trust and a softer public image as Charles's partner, and any scandal like this could undo her progress. The audio snippet reportedly didn't contain any major offense or lurid detail. What worried her was the idea that the monarchy's personal matters, particularly King Charles's health and internal family discussions, could become gossip fodder. In her eyes, that threatened the unity they had worked so hard to project. Camila also knew that a direct statement might be necessary. If the rumor broke in the press, she might be compelled to address it, or risk letting speculation spiral. The palace communications team, led by senior aides, weighed their strategy. One idea was to release a brief mention that an internal matter had been resolved, without giving specifics. Another idea was for Camila to appear in a gentle interview, stating that any talk recorded in private was never meant to mislead or alarm the public. In the midst of these deliberations, King Charles was said to remain staunchly by Camila's side. Despite health concerns rumored to be swirling around him, he was involved in the final red line decisions. He insisted that no hush money be paid if it would compromise the monarchy's integrity. Some insiders admired the moral stance, while others worried that refusing a settlement could push the staffer to release even more content. A new era of caution, and what it all means. In the final analysis, the entire event stands as a telling example of how easily a single slip can spread chaos throughout the royal institution. One phone left running, one staffer seeking advantage. Sometimes that's all it takes to upend the palace's carefully managed relationship with the world. Queen Camilla, caught off guard by the secret recording, discovered yet another layer of vulnerability in royal life. First, it underlines an age-old struggle: tradition versus transparency. Royals have historically kept their private matters hidden, revealing only polished bits of information to the public. But in an age of smartphones and instant uploads, it's nearly impossible to contain everything. For Camilla, who strives to modernize the monarchy while honoring its roots, this incident showed just how delicate that balance can be. One unsuspecting moment can cause a breach in privacy that resonates far beyond palace walls. Second, it reveals that loyalty in royal service is never guaranteed. Staff may carry their own ambitions, resentments, or need for quick money. Even though background checks are rigorous and non-disclosure forms are standard, humans still have impulses that can lead them astray. The monarchy's future success might depend on new methods of internal oversight, like better digital security, and repeated reminders that betrayal won't be tolerated. That said, no fortress is completely safe from personal agendas. Third, it highlights the power of timing. Queen Camilla didn't know she was being recorded, and the staffer who made the tape chose the perfect moment to spread it around, right when the monarchy was already juggling concerns about King Charles's health. Strategically, that placed maximum pressure on the palace. In an institution that depends on a stable image, tying a scandal to the king's well-being poses a real threat to public confidence. Fourth, it reveals Camilla's resilience. Rather than succumbing to panic or rage, she did what she does best: kept going in her role, focusing on her charities, listening to counsel, and staying out of the tabloids. This measured response may have helped prevent the situation from spiraling. Also, it allowed the palace to handle things discreetly, lowering the risk of further scandal. Finally, it serves as a cautionary tale for other royal houses and high-profile figures around the world. If Queen Camilla can be caught off guard, so can anyone. These powerful families often work within bubbles of tradition that can be disrupted with just a single digital device.